At the time of this video, the Pixel 4 has been out for just about 3 months now, and I've been really enjoying using the Pixel 4, and at the same time it has been frustrating. It's been through a few updates and it made some things better, but left a few things screaming for help. Anyway, let's jump into this review. The design of the Pixel 4 is really small and compact, which makes it really easy to use, especially with like reachability. Just being able to hit edge to edge with just one hand, don't really need to use two hands with this phone. And that's kind of like why I went with the Pixel 4, because I've had normally the bigger phones like the Note 10s or Pixel XLs or whatever. I always had the big phones with the big displays, and at this point now it's really hard to use with one hand, so it's kind of refreshing having this small phone. I also like the accent colors of the Pixel 4 with the power button and this matte back panel. It's still glass, but it just has this like matte like white coat. It just really give the Pixel a distinct look. I mean, other than like this camera setup, which kind of makes it looks like the iPhone, but all the phones now are kind of doing this like box for the camera's housing, which I don't know why, but it's all good. The top and bottom bezels, I'm actually okay with it. I would have preferred to be a bezel-less display, but I'll also rather have a little bit of a bezel rather than having the notch. Those notches are just plain out ugly to me. Other than that, I mean, I really dig this color scheme, like the black on the front, white on the back. I do like it, but hope for the next iteration that they do find a way to go bezel-less. The Pixel 4 has a 5.7-inch Full HD Plus smooth display, which is just saying that it has a 90 Hz display and it is 1080p. Normal phones I've had always had a QHD display, which I would have thought I would have had a problem with, but this display really don't bother me. It gets really bright, it gets really dim. Previous phones I've had with a 90 Hz display, like it had issues with the brightness and the dim level, but everything has been fine on here. And I guess being that just having a 5.7-inch screen, you can't really tell like when you watch something that's 1080p versus like a QHD display because of the small screen. And it's kind of weird saying 5.7 inches is a small, because what, 3 years ago 5.7 inch would have been considered big. So what all Pixels are known for is the cameras. And the cameras does live up to the hype. It has a 12 megapixel just wide angle camera, and the telephoto is I think 16 megapixels. They take great pictures. I mean, the hype is real. I think the pictures are really good, and no matter what kind of lighting, like it could be really bright outside, it could be really dark outside, the pictures comes out just better than anything else I've used. He had this new feature called like the astro photography. I live in the city. I don't have any stars, and I don't care how long you hold the shutter for, you're not gonna see any stars, but I never really got a chance to use it. With the new camera setup, Google did opt to leave out the ultra wide angle lens. It's my favorite lens outside of the normal wide lens. I'm not a big user of the telephoto lens, but I have to say what Google's doing with the processing, even at a 10x digital zoom, like the picture still comes out really good. I do wish like in the next Pixel that they bring that ultra wide lens, because I use that just pretty much more than telephoto. But I like what Google has going on here with the cameras, but it's all good. They redid the front facing cameras, which again takes really good pictures, and they also use the front facing cameras for the new face unlock, which is why the top bezel is so huge, because it has a bunch of radars and a bunch of sensors in there to get face unlock working. The face unlock works just as good as Face ID. It works in all situations, no matter if I have the hat on, if I have some shades on, glasses, no matter what the situation is, it works, and it works really fast. Even though it does have that issue where it also works while your eyes closed, which it's a software tweak, which probably will come out at some point. You would have hoped they would have had a fix by now, but fortunately there's no fix for that. But if that's really an issue for you, I think you got bigger problems. The second reason anyone will buy a Pixel device besides the camera is the software. It's using pure Android and everything is like really snappy, super smooth. Everything works really well. I would say this is a feature, but not really a feature. But that live wallpaper, the little Pokemon live wallpaper, it's really cool. And it kind of reminds me of like a Gigapet. I don't know if probably telling my age right now, but I don't know if a lot of people remember the Gigapets, but I like messing with it. It's like, it's really like a Gigapet. Even though the hand gesture things, like I probably used it once or twice, was just showing it off to someone as I'm playing with my Pokemon, like watching it wave at me. Kind of like a useless feature outside of that, which even using that is pretty useless. I do like playing with my live wallpaper and just switching my Pokemons. I wish they add like a little more interactions to them, like really make it a Gigapet. Another feature I really like is the call screening. I really do enjoy ignoring phone calls, especially unknown phone calls. So spam calls, whatever, like sending them to that Google call screen is really enjoyable. And I wish I could just see their face when they hear like, hey, this is Google Assistant's answering for la 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 la, whatever. Just seeing like their responses come on the screen and being able to like tap and send another like response back to them is like having your person, it's like really having a personal assistant screening your calls. One thing I would wish they would do is being able to like send those screen calls to like say like my voicemail or send it the transcript in like a text message or something like that, so I can probably like view it later if I'm like not able to like actually screen the calls myself clicking through. So like it would be like an automated screen and then send that transcript to like as a text message or something so I can follow up with it later. The Pixel has something that's called Pixel Neural Core. What that is just allowing Google Assistants to like work super fast. Not only is it like really convenient, probably the most convenient using the assistant I've used on any phone, which has like this little squeeze feature where you just kind of like squeeze the side of the phone and it will activate Google Assistant. That is way better than saying, I'm not gonna say it. I thought I was gonna say it. It's way faster to me and way more convenient than like swiping, holding the power button, all the different ways that you can activate Google Assistant. I think the squeeze is the best way, and the processing on this to like translate what you're saying, everything is like really fast on the Pixel. About a month or two ago, Google introduced that it's gonna be planning these feature drops where it's like bringing some big changes outside of just a normal Android update and the security patches with the updates. So they have these feature drops, and the first feature drop that came out included like a lot of enhancements to the camera applications where you can go into the Photos app and like say you just took a normal picture, you can add like blur after the fact, which is really cool. It added some enhancements to Google Duo where you can like automatically like blurs the background for you while you're in like a video chat, and also it also keeps you in the frame while in the video chat. Cool features. Really looking forward to like some more feature drops because I see this phone just keeps getting better over time with these feature drops. Shout out to Google for those feature drops. So I went through a bunch of different features I like about the Pixel 4 and I really do enjoy using it. But on the flip side of that, it's some things that really frustrates me. And one of those is the lack of a fingerprint scanner. It is really frustrating that when I want to go and log into my banking apps, I have to type my password in every single time. You want to know why? Because I can't use Face Unlock. You know why? Because it's not a verified form of authentication. Fingerprint scanners is because fingerprint scanners on every Android phone, it is secure. It's secure, it works. So it's like an approved way to authenticate into applications, and unless Android, Google finds a way to like distinguish what Face Unlocks is verified and not and send those to the developers, it's like having Face Unlock is only useful for just unlocking my phone. I don't even think there are like any Google specific apps that uses Face Unlock for authentication. So this just drives me crazy and probably the most frustrating thing I have to deal with using this phone. Though the camera is really great on a Pixel 4, there's one part that is also equally frustrating, and that is I take a picture, you know, excited, want to see what it looks like. I instantly click on the little thumbnail to view the picture. Then still processing. It's still processing. So it's not like it takes super long to process, but shit, it's 2020. You know, we want everything instantly, and it's not happening. The pictures turn out great once the processing is done, but it just takes too long. I said earlier, I didn't really have any issues or problems with the display, you know, being at its 1080p, being that it's only 5.7 inches. But Google, they hoodwinked us. They bamboozled us. They, whatever you want to call it. But throwing in that this display is 90 hertz is, it's not technically lying because it is a 90 hertz display, but it only runs at 90 hertz maybe 10% of the time. 90% it is not running at 90 hertz. And I think like only like if you're on like just navigating through the home screen, but or looking at all your app, but as soon as you hop into like pretty much any app, it drops back down to 60 hertz, and you can tell like really easily, like scrolling through Twitter, scrolling through Facebook, scrolling through your text messages, you can see like there is just that, it's not that super smooth you get from the OnePlus 7, 7T, 7 Pro. Like they implement that 90 hertz display. It's fully running at 90 hertz all the time. Pixel 4, like it just threw it on there just to say, hey, we got 90 hertz too. But once you get the phone, you realize very quickly, you might as well say this is a 60 hertz display. Yeah, I know, I'm probably like beating down a Pixel 4 a lot right now. But yes, it goes on with a few more things that I don't like. And that's probably this doesn't affect a lot of people. But for me, the inability to use an external hard drive out the box is not enjoyable. Technically, you can use an external hard drive and view the files on the Pixel 4. But before you do, I can't just grab one of my external SSDs and plug it in and use it instantly. Google, for whatever reason, wants you to format the drive before actually using it, which makes no sense to me. I started to do some research on it and find out what was going on with that. But any other phone, I could plug in my SSD to the phone, view my files instantly. Every other phone I have. But for whatever reason, for the Pixel, it wants you to format first, which why would I want to format a drive just so I can use it on a Pixel? I think most people speculated when they seen the specs drop that the Pixel 4 only had a 2800 milliamp battery. And most people were very concerned when they seen that spec because with a 90 hertz display, they assumed battery life was going to be pretty bad. And even when I seen 2800 milliamps in 2019, that's pretty small for a battery life. And what it turns out is everyone was pretty much right. Battery life is terrible. Terrible. And then, not to make it even worse, charging is super slow. No matter what charger I use, the charger that's included, whatever charger I use, charging, it takes forever to charge. Then battery, I get about maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours of use. Dies really fast, charges really slow. With all that being said, I still enjoy using the Pixel 4. The OS is super smooth. I love Android 10. I love the gestures. There's still some improvements that could be made to the software, and some improvements that can be made to the design. Getting rid of the notch is the first thing I would say. But the future does look bright, especially with Google pushing these feature drops. I can see the software very much improving over time. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is Joe, and that was another Joe Tech Talk. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and catch me in the next one. I'm out.